I'm back! In Cam Newton's voice, of course. Imagine that was me as Cam Newton, announcing my triumphant return to LA after my great tour has ended, the great March of March, the Ides of March. And oh, did this tour have some Ides. Sweet Holy Mother of Christ, glad to be back in LA. I'm going to tell you all about my big March Midwest tour that just concluded. A tale of two tours, it really was. So I don't know if this is going to be a whole long thing, maybe a part one and a part two. We'll see how long. You know I tend to ramble. You know I've missed you, Laserheads, and I met many a Laserhead on this tour. Shout out to all. This episode is brought to you by everyone, all my Laserheads who came out to see me on tour, and I met some of you. Hey, there's a few of you. Thanks for the support. This podcast is brought to you by... Nope. This podcast may contain lasers that may trigger seizures. Nope. This podcast contains lasers that may trigger seizures in photosensitive viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. This is Laser Show.
Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance, dance.
Good tidings, good morrow, good blessings, good mother, and good day to you, Laserheads. This is episode 40. I should have checked 9. I think it's 49 of Laser Show. I am your host, Gucci Greatness, Dr. Drip, the Fabergé Fiend, Guac Daddy, 3-time Employee of the Week, 1-time Employee of the Month, inaugural at both, and second alderman of the 3rd Ward of Cass County, Missouri, Ryan O'Flanagan. Yes! Nailed that one. I am firing on all cylinders. Lasers are focused. Welcome to this episode, whatever number it may be, of Laser Show. My great March tour recap. Oh, I'm glad it's over. Yeah, just did a little comedy tour. For those who don't know, of course you know. I know how many people listen to this podcast. It's in the dozens. And you all listen to every single one, and I'm ever so grateful. So as you, of course, know, Ryan O'Flanagan, comedy's Ryan O'Flanagan. I just did a little comedy tour. It wasn't little at all. It was big. It was 2 whole weeks. I keep telling myself I gotta stop doing 2 whole weeks. That's a lot. It's a lot of drinking. Comedy kind of comes second to my real goal for these trips, which is just to drink as much as I can with meeting as many new people as I can. Hey, cheers. Great to meet you. Thanks for coming to the show. Blackout. What a time it was. My body is in shambles. I have eczema. A little eczema on my stomach here. I'll rub it so you can hear it. That's my eczema on my stomach. Just a little spot. But it's been since before the trip. It's been since before the trip. And it simply won't go away. Using Curel. It's so itchy. Usually it just goes away with a little Curel. But something's up. Something's up. This may be the end times. And that's okay. I feel like I've lived a good life. I had a fucking award-winning, nationally recognized and renowned podcast. I got really big and strong in my time here on Earth. I'm very big and strong. I've met a lot of cool people and a lot of bad ones too. And now eczema's taken me down. Just a little spot about the size of, I'd say a quarter, maybe a $50. I think it's gotten worse with 2 straight weeks of drinking, really dehydrating my body. So hopefully it clears up now. I'm gonna take 3 days off of heavy drinking. And then it's my friend Sarah's birthday, and we're going hard. I need to drink more water. This is just me It's just me kind of freaking out about a bit of a medical issue. I Googled what are top lotions for eczema. I mean, I'm assuming this is eczema. I don't know. I get it a little bit on my thighs sometimes. I love having itchy inner thighs. Girls think that's really cool. I love just scratching my inner thighs while I'm just sitting at a bar. But stomach, I think it is exacerbated by sitting down for long periods of time, which I did a lot. It was a lot of sitting down, very long drives. I think my belt maybe the metal of my belt is really just irritating it, aggravating it. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Laser Show where I talk about the effect of metals on my stomach skin. I know that's what you tune into Laser Show for, and I would never let you down. So I just got back just yesterday from this 2-week tour. Man, I was pretty anxious about this tour. As you probably remember, it's a long one. I hadn't headlined really at all in several months. The LA comedy scene is dead. I talked to so many people on this trip. What's the comedy scene? I'm like, oh, you getting up in LA? No, not at all. A couple times a month? I do more shows in goddamn South Bend, Indiana that I'm doing here in this town. Now, granted, I don't try, but that's neither here nor there. All the shows suck. You're either in at the clubs or you're just doing these shitty shows. But hey, I got some shitty shows coming up. If you're in LA, I got some shitty shows coming up. You'll see me post about them. And don't come. I'll be embarrassed. But yeah, so I was pretty anxious about this tour. It's a bit long, and certainly the beginning of every tour. This tour is 11 cities, 13 shows total. If you're doing the math, that means 2 of the nights I have double shows. I hate that, as you know. If I can just never do that again, I'll be totally fine. I just don't want to do it. I love getting off stage. I love being done with the show. It is torturous to have to sell my merch and meet these people. And I'm feeling good about a job, hopefully well done, but at least a job done. And then they say, come out, wrap it up. Wrap it up. We gotta let the next crowd in. There's another crowd? I just did it. And it was really hard. Comedy's really hard when you're not that good. And I'm trying, man. No, most of the shows were pretty good. A couple duds. A tale of 2 tours, man. This was really a tour that was very much split in half. I had 5 days of shows, and then 1 day off, and then 6 days of shows. Really split in half. And the 1 day off, boy, do I have a story about that day off. And that really separated this tour into pre-Day from Hell and post-Day from Hell. And we'll see where I fall into that when I record this. Who knows if I can get into that crazy story today. Or maybe it'll be a cliffhanger, the way I'm rambling now. But let us begin. I knew things were going to be... I felt that things were amiss from the jump. I got a weird feeling. My first show was in Tolono, Illinois. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. And shout out to Sue and Lori, a couple of major fans and good women who hit me up and said, want to do this? I see you're going to be in South Bend. Want to come to Tolono and kick off the tour on a Wednesday night at a tiny little bar in Tolono, Illinois, population 8 or 9? I said, absolutely. I love Sue and Lori. They've come to see me live a couple times. They were 2 of the 13 people that came to see me eat shit in Indianapolis. I would do anything for Sue and Lori. I love Sue and Lori. So I'm going to fly into Peoria early, the day before. Peoria, that's like about an hour from Tolono. Now I got to plan these trips around doing tourist videos too. So I say, okay, I can do a Peoria tourist video. I'll fly into Peoria a day early, rent a car, spend a glorious night in Peoria, do a tourist video in the morning, and then go do the show. and I'm flying out of Burbank Airport. If you haven't flown out of Burbank Airport, ooh-wee, it completely changes the vibe of your trip versus flying out of LAX. You're either flying out of Burbank, you're driving 23 minutes to go to the easiest airport with no traffic, and it's just your grandma's house. And you gotta go on the plane through being outside. It's one of those. You just walk onto the plane in your slippers at your grandma's house across the tarmac. They don't have jet bridges over there. They ain't got that. They're not that highfalutin at Burbank Airport. It's awesome. It's so chill. Versus going to LAX, drive 1 hour, wait in traffic for another 15 minutes to get to your terminal. Go through hell. It's a cattle call. It's pandemonium. People are coughing in your mouth. People are sucking your dick. It's just a lot going on. And I go, don't look at my little dick. LAX is the worst. So to start a trip with that airport versus this airport, man, I'm just so excited to not have to deal with that. I'm going to start with such better vibes. And I go to Burbank Airport, and I'm just a little hungry. So I go to this little bakery. They have 3 places to eat, and 2 of them are owned by Guy Fieri. There's a Guy Fieri bar and grill, and there's a Guy Fieri to go, quick Guy Fieri. And then there's a little bakery there with coffees and some muffins, and I just want a little snack just to hold me over. And I go to the little bakery, and I'm looking at the muffins. I just want a blueberry muffin, which do have like 55 grams of sugar. I know. Yes, I've looked at the grams of sugar in a muffin. It doesn't feel like that many grams of sugar. As many grams of sugar as a bottle of Coca-Cola. But it is. They're sneaky, these muffins. I had to stop eating muffins for a time in my life. I love muffins, but they are... They're sneakily very bad for you. But I'm going on vacation. I consider tours vacation, even though it's the only time of my life that I ever work. Because I no longer work at the movie theater. But I'm looking at these muffins. They got these kind of nondescript looking muffins. I can't tell if they're blueberry. I don't know. They're just like muffins. And the guy says, how can I help you? And I said, hey man, are these blueberry muffins? And he said, I believe they are, yes. I said, awesome, dude. I want a blueberry muffin. It's my favorite kind of muffin. Pretty hot take. My favorite muffins are blueberry muffins, and my favorite cookies are chocolate chip cookies. I know. I'm kind of a wild card. I said, I'll take one of these blueberry muffins. He said, all right. You want it heated up? I said, no, I'm not gay. He gives me the muffin. I walk away to a place where I can eat the muffin, which is just a spot on the floor. And I take a bite of the muffin, and this is a banana nut muffin. Now, I have no problem with banana nut muffins, but they ain't no blueberry muffins, if you know what I mean, Laserhead. So I'm immediately, the bite's in my mouth. I can't go back and say, hey, you prick, this is not a blueberry muffin. I just say, forget it. Maybe this has less than 55 grams of sugar. Maybe this is a blessing. But the vibes were already off. The very first thing I wanted to do on this entire tour went wrong. And I had this feeling, that's not a good start. It's just not a good start to this trip. But we persevere. Maybe I'm simply overreacting. We get on the plane. We all shuffle onto the plane through the outside. And we're flying to Denver. I'm going to fly to Denver, have a layover, and then I'm going to fly to Peoria. This is all throughout the day. You know, just like day hours, not a red eye. As I'm in the air going to Denver, I get a notification on my phone, a text message, which also let me know that I was connected to the internet. I didn't know that. I just thought no one was texting me because I was in the air. Turns out I had internet the whole time and just my friends don't like me. But United Airlines, one of the worst airlines. I'm just not a United fan. They use planes from the 20s. Put TVs in your plane. You're a plane. You are a plane in 2026. Put a 5-inch TV on the back of the seats. How are we still using planes that just have a fucking sky mall and a had to get out in case of an emergency pamphlet? Give me something, even to have just games on it. It doesn't even have to connect to movies or put a screen. A screen of it could be a screensaver. Give me something to look at. I hate United, and I've had more problems with United than any other airline in my life. And you know my Spirit story. Do I like Spirit more than I like United? No. Well, maybe. I've had less problems. I've flown them less. And when I had my Spirit problem, they sent me $1,200. So that was sick. But yeah, my Spirit story. If you haven't heard my Spirit story, I'm not going to tell it. But it was pretty heinous. But anyway, I'm in the air going to Denver, and I got a text message from United. Hey, Rye Guy. Gucci Greatness. Dr. Drip, Guac Daddy. Guess what? Your flight to Peoria canceled. And you're now going to, luckily we put you on a new flight tomorrow at 6 a.m. And I said, that can't be right. There's no way that is a real thing. Maybe I'm in the air so high that there's different Wi-Fis and different messages getting sent around the sky and the atmosphere and the satellites. Maybe this was meant for someone else. Signals got crossed. There's no way that they just said my flight is just canceled and now I have to fly out at 6 a.m. the next day. There's got to be, that can't be right. I'm going to land and I'm going to figure this out. We land and I get off the plane, still having hope that maybe that was just some sort of a missed signal in the sky. And I walk over to where the gate was, where I'm to fly to Peoria, and it says Albuquerque. And I said, well, first of all, I looked at the TVs at the airport, and it says Peoria, canceled. Just good old-fashioned red font, canceled. Not delayed, just good old-fashioned canceled. And I say, okay, not a great sign. Let me go get to the bottom of this. I can do something about this. Certainly. I can fix this. And I walk over to where the gate was supposed to be on my original ticket. And there's just a sassy little bitch boy standing there. Sassy little, oh my God, manicured little bitch boy. And I said, hey man, I was on the, it's really far. Denver Airport can kiss my ass. It needs to chill out. No airports need to be this big. There's no reason why you should have to walk 45 minutes during your layover. It's simply too big, and the whole thing's under construction now. Cool, good. Make there be less room. That's what needs to happen. I make it to this gate, and I say, hey, fella. Hey, princess. So I was on the Peoria flight that says it got canceled. And he just goes, mm-hmm. Oh, you're gonna, I was like, can you elaborate on what's going on? Why? What? Yeah, I don't know. Let me look it up. Click, clack, click, clack. Click, clack, click, clack. Let me look it up. Oh, it's weather related. It's weather related. Okay. So it has me flying out tomorrow. That's like a whole different day. That's an entirely different day. Yeah. I can't believe how unsympathetic they are. I get that their job sucks. No one wants to work at the airport and you deal with people that are upset all day. But if someone comes up to me and they're like, dude, because of your airline, it's because of the weather. But if my airline caused someone they bought a flight one day and then they had to fly out a different day. Yeah, but I bought a flight for today, actually. You don't think that's fucking crazy that now I have to fly out a different day? I get that it happens, but I think they should be a little more. If someone came up to me and said that, I would go, dude, yeah, there was a weather thing. I'm so sorry. The next flight isn't till tomorrow. I'm so sorry, dude. That sucks so bad that this is happening to you because obviously you bought this flight for this day for a reason. And now the whole thing is ruined. And I totally understand that. I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. That's what they should say, but they just go, yeah, weather, yeah. I think they want you to get upset. They want to needle you, and they want you to freak out at the airport so they can get some views. Maybe people will start filming you. Man, snaps. Disgraced comedian snaps at airport. Poor airport employee. They want you. They know that you're angry and they want to see, because they know you can't win. And they want to just, they want to bitch boy you. I swear to God. So I was like, so the next flight isn't until tomorrow morning, you're telling me? Yeah. Okay. So I have to stay? Yeah. So I'm to stay here? You're going to have to talk to customer service. Oh, where are they? Oh, they're about 40 miles east. I have to walk to this. You thought that guy was a bitch boy. I go to the customer service. This is now like where you check in. I have to go to the check-in area, which is quite a ways from where the gate was, if you can believe it. And they have a little customer service area. That's pink. They have the pink screen. Just because it's happy, good times. There's the United check-in, and then there's the one screen that's pink, and it says United Customer Service, and it's pink because the vibes are so good and everyone's happy. Make it pink! I go over to the fucking most miserable bitch I have perhaps talked to in quite a while. She was just, her whole job is dealing with people that are pissed off. No one's going to customer service and go, I just want to let you know you're beautiful and good, and I love your airline. Can I give you a tip? So I go over to this bitch lady and I say, hey, so I was on the Peoria flight that got canceled. And she's like, yeah. Why do these people not, can you say something? Give me, what am I supposed to do? Help me. My flight isn't until tomorrow now. That's not crazy to you that I have to fly out on a different day? Obviously, like a bunch of stuff is like fucked up now. And you're just gonna go, yeah. Say something, lady. I go, so, am I supposed to just like sleep in the airport? And she goes, you don't have to. Great. That's great news. I don't want to. So am I supposed to stay at a hotel? You can, yeah. There's hotels in the area. Okay, cool. Do you guys do you pay for the hotel? Because I wasn't planning on paying for a hotel in Denver tonight. Yeah, no, we don't pay for that hotel. Okay, I have dealt with this before. I know that you don't pay for the hotel during a weather situation. Please use a little bit of range in your voice when you're talking to me, because I'm so stressed out. Please be like, sorry about this. Say something like that. You can stay in a hotel. I go, can you, is there like a discount? Is there a discount on the hotel that I'm only paying for because your airplanes are such pussies that you won't fly into Peoria because they're having a tornado warning and a little bit of hail? Boo-hoo. You know who survived the tornado and a little bit of hail? Everyone in Peoria. Wasn't a problem. No, it actually was pretty bad. I saw videos of it. It was pretty reasonable to not fly in. But just have some sympathy for the people whose trips got ruined by this. Go, that sucks. I'm sorry. I've been there. There's nothing we can do. They just treat you like you're crazy for being a little sad that your trip has a wrench thrown in it. So I say, is there can you give me a discount on a hotel? She goes, yeah, we have partner hotels in the area. We can give you a discount. Here's a car. So you weren't going to tell me that? You ultimate bitch. You weren't going to tell me that unless I asked. You ultimate bitch. gives me a card. Guess how much the discount is? $6. She gives me a $6 off code to use at a nearby hotel. And I say, okay, great. I will use this and stay at a hotel nearby. And part of me was like, man, I'm trying to save money. I fucking spent money on a bad muffin. Now I'm like, now I'm hemorrhaging money already at the beginning of this trip. So I thought for a minute, it's like, do I just rough it and just sleep in this hotel? But it was like 5 p.m. So I'm like, that's a long time to stay in this hotel. I mean, in this airport. Airport I'm talking about. We're talking about the airport now. Keep up, guys. So I decide, yeah, I'll spend the money and stay at a hotel and like lay down and sleep in a real bed. So I say, okay, next step, you guys have my bags, right? Yes, the bags are checked, and so we have your bags, yes. Okay. Are you really going to make me keep talking? So I need my bags. I'm not going to go stay in a hotel without my stuff. Do you? And then she goes, oh, that takes a long time if you want to get your bags. It takes a long time if I want to get my bags? What are you doing? Give me my bags. The bags are clearly here. They're not on the plane because the plane's not leaving. You ultimate bitch. Yeah, that takes like 2 hours if you want to get your bags. I got to put in a request and it might not come out for hours. Okay, good. Let's put in a request. I have 2 bags. God help me. 1 bag with all my stuff. And then 1 bag with all my merch. I got a Panthers duffel bag with 300 koozies in it. And all my other stuff. Tote bags. By the way, no one ever buys my tote bags. So I started just like giving them away for free with any purchase. Buy a koozie, get a tote bag. And guess what? Got rid of my tote bags. And if you feel like you missed out, I want a tote bag. Nah, these tote bags suck. Literally no one wanted these tote bags. You can still buy them on my website and they come out way better because they're from a different company. But I put in a request and I was like, can I just get the 1 bag that's a suitcase? And then I don't want like this 40-pound bag of koozies to also have for no reason. No, you have to get both of the bags. Great. Give me both of the bags. I wait for it. It only took about an hour. But I get both of my big fucking bags and then take a shuttle to the Ramada Inn by the Denver airport. Just a bummer. Now how am I going to film my Peoria tourist video? Now that's all screwed up. That's really what this whole trip was about. But I went to a diner, got a cheesesteak, watched the World Baseball Classic. And then I went to bed. My flight is at 6 a.m., so I have to get up at like 3 a.m. I got to recheck my bags just so I could use my little soaps, put a new shirt on. So I get up like 3. The shuttle to the airport is at 3:55 a.m. Things are going really well. I'm in a very good mood. I get inside the shuttle, packed shuttle. Big old shuttle with 1 seat left when I get on it. So there's like 15 people in there. And then one guy comes out of the hotel and he runs up as we're about to leave. And he was like, is there any more room in the shuttle? And this lady's like, yeah, there's 1 more seat right here. And he looks in, he peeks in, and he goes, I'll get the next one. I smell really bad. Good for him, man. Also, like, go take a shower, dude. He must have woken up in the nick of time to run down and just stank. How do you stink that bad? If you're waking up stinking, change everything. Change everything about your life. I make sure I go to bed I hate going to bed stinking. I'm a shower before bed guy. I take more showers going to bed than I do in the morning. That's a little fact about me. But anyway, bless his heart. Thank you for not stinking up this completely packed shuttle. Go to the airport, fly to Peoria. Now I get in early. I go rent my car. I booked a rental car on Expedia, and it said it was going to be for 2 weeks like $580, which is a great deal. And I go to a budget at Peoria Airport, and she says, okay, I've got you here. That's $1,100. $1,100, you penultimate bitch. It said on Expedia it was $580. Yeah, well, we're not Expedia, are we, you cracker? So I get my car. It is a little black Toyota Corolla, a tiny little thing. I mean, you see Corollas everywhere. I don't think I've ever seen a Corolla this tiny, dude. It was like a junior Corolla, I swear to God. For a dwarf. It was this tiny little thing. Maybe I'm just misremembering how big Corollas are. I was like, this is like a small Corolla. Yeah, that'll come into play later. These are the Ides of March, remember. But I go to the hotel. They got me a sick hotel. Thank you, Sue and Lori. They had points. Shout out to Sue and Lori's points. I'm at the Hyatt. I'm at the Hyatt in Champaign. And also shout out to the Illinois Fighting Illini making it to the Sweet 16. I'm now in Champaign. That's where the university is. Read my ass. And I'm at the Hyatt. And the woman at the front says, we do have breakfast in the morning from 6 to 9 or whatever. And it is an extra $15 a person. But it is buffet style. Do you want to sign up for that? I said, yeah, sure. I mean, buffet style sounds great. I want to get my money's worth. And then flash forward to the morning. I forget. Yeah, all hotel breakfast is buffet style. That's what a hotel breakfast is. When's the last time you got served a finite breakfast at a hotel? When you say buffet style, I'm like, damn, ooh. It's continental style is what it is. They had some nice stuff, some eggs, some potatoes. But every hotel, I was like, oh yeah, of course, this is buffet. That's every hotel I've ever been to is buffet style. But anyway, I get picked up by Sue and Lori. We love Sue and Lori. They bring me to the Loose Cobra in Tolono, Illinois, where I am to kick off my great March comedy tour. Man, I've been talking for 32 minutes. Yeah, we're not. This is going to be many parts to this. I haven't even started talking about my first show yet. But Tolono, it's a place called the Loose Cobra, a tiny little bar. It's one of 3 bars in town, they were saying, or 3 bars in the area, 5 bars in town, something like that. Sick spot, dude. If I lived in Tolono, Illinois, and I probably will at some point, I'd be at this bar all the time. Loose Cobra's sick. They got live comedy. I forget if it was Sue or Lori. One of them gave me a bunch of cookies. So now I am the proud owner of it's a couple dozen cookies. Chocolate chip, they know what I like. And of course, I reiterate, if anyone is coming to see me on tour, bring me some food, bring me a size medium t-shirt, bring me a Fabergé egg. I love gifts. And I'm going to add one more to that. Fun glasses, like fun colored eyeglasses to wear to parties. Just fun, maybe glasses that are like pineapples or like pieces of pizza or just ghosts. Green lenses that are like an apple. Some fun glasses. I like fun glasses. Anyway, dude, so this is now the first show of this trip. And I'm like, man, we're getting into it. It's happening. I have such anxiety, building. Man, this is just the first of 13 shows in a row I'm about to do. And it's happening. And it's grueling. It's hard work. It's fun. But it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of traveling. It's a lot of hoping people like me. Constantly looking inward and hating myself and liking myself and building myself up and tearing myself down. It's an exhausting task to do these tours for me. I think for most comics, it's just fucking a great time. And it mostly is. But there's a lot of anxiety, especially at the beginning. I'm like, damn, I'm about to go on stage, and I have not gone on stage at all in a couple months, but I haven't headlined in a while. But I go up, and the vibes are very chill. Oh, my friend Caitlin came out. Super fan, shout out. Caitlin came out, brought me a size medium t-shirt. She always brings me gifts. She's in Bloomington, close to Peoria. She came out. Always comes out when I'm in the area. So shout out to her and to Sue and Lori. And the show was very chill. There was, 30 people. Tiny little bar. Very chill. It was the perfect kickoff to this tour to ease me in, try these jokes. I tried a couple new jokes, and they're done. They're gone. All my new jokes kind of sucked. But we're shaking them off. We're working through them. I have this long ass story about my car that I'm just like, it's like a 12-minute bit about my like shitty car that I have. If you like it, it's a really fun 12 minutes. If the crowd's not into it, that's a long 12 minutes. And then it's kind of hard to get them back. Like, that was like, man, that was really boring for like a really long time. He's just like complaining about his car. So I'm just like, I did that for the first couple shows. I've been like trying to stop doing that joke, but it's such a great, if you're headlining and doing 50 minutes, you gotta do some long jokes. Do as many time killers as you can. And just kill some of that time. Because let's be real, how many like absolute banger bits can you really have? A solid, sick 5-minute joke that gets the crowd going. Cool, that was 5 minutes. What are you going to do for the other 45 minutes? It's tough, dude. It's tough. So I like doing this kind of an intro to me. Hey, I'm Ryan. I'm not doing well. I bought this car. Here's how like shitty my car is. And then that can also be an opportunity to go, hey, so I'm not doing really well, so please buy my merch. And then I show off my merch. It's a nice little intro. But if you're not into it, you're not into it. Luckily, went well in Tolono. The next day, I am off. And then I just hung out at that bar all night. And then the next day, I'm off to South Bend, Indiana for a show at Cheers Bar. That was fun. It was a big old sports bar. And I have some time to kill on the way. So I'm due to get into town at like 1 o'clock maybe on my GPS, on my TomTom. And I don't want to get into town at 1 o'clock. I don't know if I'm going to be able to check in. So I was like, if I see anything, it's like a 3-hour drive. So it was one of those days where I'm like, if I see anything interesting on the side of the road, a cool shop or a roadside attraction, I'm going to stop and kill some time. And let me tell you, the drive from Tolono or Champaign where I was staying up to South Bend, and the buffet breakfast was great. Really filled me right up for this 3-hour drive. And good sweet God Christ Almighty, is there nothing in between those two places? There's really nothing in between any of these places that I go. That's the Midwest. That's also kind of a lot of everywhere. Except if you're not on the coast. There's just not a lot to look at in this great big country. And it is a great country. Thank you, Donald Trump, for making it great again. But I did see at one point a sign. Once I crossed into Indiana, I saw a sign for Indiana Dunes National Park. A national park? Hell yeah. That's got to be something. So I went to the Indiana Dunes National Park. It was quite a ways off the highway. You can't have a sign for it. That's just like next exit. And then the next exit is like, yeah, it's like 8 towns over though. But I went to it. I guess it's a national park. It's really just the beaches of Lake Michigan. It's the Indiana side beaches of just Lake Michigan. And that's completely it. But there are some dunes that were created by the wind of the lake. Cool. I don't know what really was a national park about it. I think there was a lot more to explore that I did not see, but it was just me. It was freezing, and there's no one there. I went to just a beach that was a beach in the Indiana Dunes National Park. I'm sure there was plenty more stuff. A lot of the signs were pointing to this one beach, West Beach, I think it was called. So I go, okay, that's what a lot of the signs keep saying. So that must be the main attraction of the state park. And I went there and I parked, and there was these 2 lesbos. They were also parked, and they were walking up in front of me really slow, just the classic lesbo waddle. And I had to walk past them. And they said, good morning. And I said, good morning, nice little cold day at the dunes, huh? And they said, you bet, brother. And I walked to the dunes. You walk up, and then you're just greeted by beautiful Lake Michigan. And what's cool about it is across the water, if you look far enough, I think it said it was like 28 miles as the crow flies, you can see Chicago. And that's kind of cool. And so, bro, you can kind of see, and I'll share a lot of these photos when I post on Instagram. When I post this, I'll show my little video of you can barely see Chicago. If you look into there's a little sign and it goes, if you look into the prevailing winds, you can see the Chicago skyline. I was like, prevailing wind? How do you know what winds are prevailing? I thought prevailing winds was just like the main winds. How do you know what winds are the main winds on any given day? I guess they probably always come off the lake, which makes them prevailing. The wind never goes the other way? You're telling me? I don't know. I never looked it up, but I looked into the prevailing winds, and you could see Chicago, and that was fine. And then I continued on my way to South Bend, got to my show. This show was great. It was just like a South Bend. Oh, I went to Notre Dame. Went to their campus real quick. Went to the football stadium, which is the only real reason I would ever go to any campus at all. And I saw a statue for Lou Holtz. Rest in peace, Lou Holtz. I saw the Lou Holtz statue. He had just recently died, and there's a bunch of roses and stuff. That was nice. I love Lou Holtz. And then I went to a restaurant called Legends, and it was not very good. But what are you going to do? I have heard about that. I have heard about that restaurant on a podcast, and if you're in South Bend and you go to a game, everyone goes to Legends after. I was like, oh my God, I've actually heard of this place. And I went and I ordered something that I did not think was a burger, and then it came and it was a burger. The description was not like it was a burger. I thought it was going to be some sort of a beefy sandwich. Then it came and it was like the most plain burger you've ever seen in your life. I go, oh, you got to just say that it's a burger in the description. Quarter pound, It didn't say quarter pound. That's obviously a burger. I don't know, not important. But then I went to the show, and it was a show at a bar called Cheers Bar, which was a broad-ass daylight when it started. It was very much 7 p.m. when it started. But this crowd was awesome. They were so into the show the whole time. And that was sick. That was tight. Met a bunch of fans. Not a bunch. A few fans, big supporters that came out, and there was one guy I was hanging out with at the bar after, and he's like, let me buy you a shot. And I said, yeah, man, let's do a shot. Let's celebrate life. And we're standing at the bar, pretty empty bar, and everyone else is kind of elsewhere in the bar. And we're standing at the bar waiting for the bartender to look at us. He's like turned around. And then this guy walks up to us. He was not at the show. He just walked in. Trucker hat, camo, really bad mood. He comes up and he goes, are you guys getting food? And we said, no, we're just getting a shot. And then he goes, well, then why don't you order a shot over there? What? It's like, what are you, a bully? I was like, we're just getting a shot. Once the bartender comes over, we're just getting a shot and then we'll get out of here. He goes, well, you can order a shot over there. I got 5 friends coming. We're going to sit here. We're eating food. Oh, you're eating food, my liege. And I just said, yeah, all right. And we walked over. We're like, that was strange. That guy really wanted to kick our ass. And he and his friends arrived. And there was 5 of them sitting in a row at the bar. And they were all just like eating burgers. And they all looked exactly the same. They were all wearing ball caps and just like dumb, ugly clothes. And they were all just fucking eating. Probably just a rough day. A rough day in South Bend, Indiana. Yeah, your life sucks. I'll get out of your way. I just got paid to tell jokes and you are a piece of shit. Yeah, you have the seat, dude. So after the show, things started getting a little weird. Well, karaoke busted out. And, that was what it was. But one of the guys at the show says, I actually own a bar the next town over. if you want to go there, because this place gets kind of dicey at night. I said, yeah, I can see that happening, dude. I was just ordering a shot at the bar, and a guy wanted to kick my ass for standing in his spot, his usual spot where he sits and he eats his burger with his boyfriends. I should have said that to him. That would have got him real riled up. What do you and your boyfriends want to sit here? That would have got him riled up, wouldn't it, have Laserheads? But we go to this other bar, sick bar. It's called Hop Station in some town I fucking forget. And that place is dope. And the guy works there, so we're drinking a lot for free. And they got games and stuff. And then the owner of the bar is like, hey, man, you want a T-shirt? I go, dude, I love T-shirts. I like traveling around and being given a T-shirt. He goes to the back. He gets me 2 T-shirts. That brings my total up to 3 new T-shirts, folks. And I'm going to share pictures of all of them. Yeah, I will. And they're pretty sick. It's nice Hop Station T-shirts. And good time at the bar. Night's over. Next day, we are driving to Chicago. Now this was the real crux, in my opinion. This was the crux of the tour. I was the most nervous for Chicago because I have to do 2 shows on Friday, 2 shows on Saturday, and I hate doing 2 shows in a night. I'm very nervous for it. Chicago is a major city, which also makes me a little more nervous. This is like real people that aren't complete psycho hillbillies, and I feel like their opinion matters more. All due respect to all the other towns I performed in. And I also have to be on the fucking news. So I get good and hammered at this bar where we're all drinking for free and playing Pop-A-Shot. And then I have to wake up at 6 a.m. and drive to Chicago to be on the morning news. If you remember, I told you folks I was going to be on the morning news in Chicago, and boy was I. They told me to show up camera ready. So of course, I have one shirt that's camera ready because it's the shirt that I was wearing the night before. So I have my shirt that I was wearing at the South Bend show, which just smells like alcohol and has been spilled on quite a bit, I'd imagine at this point. We were playing games and doing free shots of Rumplements. And I love Rumplements. And you can light your finger on fire if you drink it. Well, not if you drink it, if you put your finger in it. That's just a little fun trick I do when I'm drinking Rumplements. But anywho, so I drive up to Chicago. So I'm pretty much dreading this. Not dreading this weekend, but I'm just like, once I get past this weekend, I'll feel much better, I think. Because I have to do this. I really don't want to go on the news. I'm like, it's not going to do anything for the shows. Like, thanks for having me. But no one is coming to my shows because they saw me on the news at 9 in the morning. But I make it to the news station. And I got my hair all done up. Not done up, but you know what I mean. Done. I'm camera ready when I get in my car. And I park at the news station and I get out and it's Chicago. And it's fucking prevailing winds. And my hair just gets blown back like I just did a science experiment on Cartoon Network. Like I'm in Dexter's lab. And I walk in, and it's freezing, and I make it into the studio, and they're super sweet. Like the door lady's like, Ryan, nice to meet you. I think she just does that. I don't think she knew who I was. I just said my name. She goes, thanks for coming. And then they put me in this green room, and it's a tiny little green room. There's one guy in there who's on his laptop, and I was like, okay, he must work at the news station, I guess. And this is where he does his laptop stuff. Then there's a girl sitting there next to me, and we just don't talk. I mean, dude, I'm fucking hungover, and I just don't want to go on the news. And a couple other people come in, and like none of us are really talking to each other. And then the guy gets off his laptop, and then he and the girl start talking, and they knew each other. And then it starts to come to light. Okay, these are now, of course, these are all the guests that are going to be on the news. And I'm just not talking to anybody. I am literally like deathly hungover. I'm sitting in the chair, kind of with my my head against my hand with the elbow up on the chair, just kind of just with my eyes closed, kind of just trying to get a little shut-eye if I can. I don't want to talk to these people. I talked to one lady at one point who was just there because her client owned a fucking playhouse. I don't know. None of us need to be on the news. This is not the news. This is just people that you don't need to know about. That's not news. That's the internet. You can find that on the internet. If you want to go to a play, Google it. But anyway, so the producer comes to get me. Her name is, I forget. She comes to get me. She goes, Ryan, come on. I'm going to show you the studio, and then you're going to be on the news. I go, okay. She brings me into the studio, big studio. Hey, it's all smoke and mirrors, by the way, folks. There's a big studio. There's the news desk where the two news ladies are on the news, and then there's the cooking area where they do the cooking segments, and then a little bit over here there's a couch with a coffee table, a couch, and then when it's your turn up next. They cut to you on the couch. They go, coming up next, Ryan O'Flanagan is in town doing some comedy shows. And it cuts to me on the couch, and they say, he's in our green room. He's going to come out. No, the green room is 15 feet from the desk. They're right over there. We're all in one room together. I was just in the green room taking a nap and not talking to anybody. But anyway, so the producer girl brings me in, and she's talking. So you're going to sit on that couch, and they're going to call it the green room, and it's not the green room. And then she looks at me and she looks at my chest and she goes, oh my God, don't move. I go, what? She goes, you have a huge bug on your shoulder. And I look and there's a big stink bug on my shoulder. And I go, oh, fuck, this studio is disgusting. What kind of operation are you running in here? And then you know what she says to me? She goes, honestly, I think it was on your face. Because when I came to get you from the green room, you had a big thing on your face and now you don't. And you have that bug on your shoulder. And I think while I was just sitting in the green room with my eyes closed, with my head against my hand, trying to do the airport lean and get a little sleep, there was just a stink bug crawling on my face. And this woman tells me that. And she gets a little tissue and she just crushes it. And she did not. She's not a bug person. I could have done it. This poor girl. Wearing my clothes that I was wearing the night before, of course bugs are going to be attracted to me. And she crushes it and she goes, yeah! She screams while the news is happening and throws it away. Bless her heart. And then she goes, okay, sit on that couch and you're going to be on the news. And I'm just sitting on the couch and they go, coming up next, Ryan O'Flanagan. Then they have this sweeping camera that comes by and it sweeps. And they're like, when the camera sweeps, you wave to the camera. And I go, got it. I was like, I wonder if there's any funny bits I can do. And I'm waving to the camera. Didn't do any funny bits. It happened very quick. Definitely the camera operator was waving at me. And I was just waving back to him. Yeah, no, I know to wave, dude. They made that very clear I have to wave. And this guy was giving me the signal to wave. And he's waving. And I'm just waving back at him. And I'm just waving at this guy. This guy who's sweeping past me on the camera. Yeah, hi, good morning, yes. And then I go on the news. And you don't talk to these people at all before you get on the news. They have no idea who I am. They're very nice. I like these two ladies. Couldn't for the life of me tell you their names. Because they put you in the seat on the news, at the news desk with these ladies, and then they go, and three. And I'm just like, I don't even know who these people are. I thought we would have spent the whole morning together or something. I thought we would all get to meet each other. If I'm going to be a guest on your news program. No, they just sit you right in the seat. And they go, hi, thanks for being here. Hi, nice to meet you. You shake their hands and they go, and go. And they go, we're here with Ryan O'Flanagan. And I go, do you even know who I am? And the news segment, it went fine, I guess. I mean, they for sure. I tried to bring up the bug at one point. At one point, I said, yeah, I just had a huge bug on me. And they were like, and they really blew past it. They really did not want to talk about their bug problem that they have at WGN. And I go, well, that was just kind of a weird, I just said I have a bug. And they go, so you're in town. you're in town doing shows. So I promote these shows. They mostly wanted to talk about like the tourists, a little bit of New Girl. Definitely this woman's just reading off a note card, and she was like, "So you were on New Girl, and you were on American Dad." American Dad? That's a cartoon. Well, of all the credits not that I have a ton of credits, but what a strange one. What a strange one to bring up. I was on Abbott Elementary. I was on American Vandal. Not a ton of stuff, but I would put a lot of stuff before I said. And then you were on American Dad? No, I was not on American Dad. American Dad is actually a cartoon. I just thought it was very strange. And it was really quick. And I know my dad was watching the stream online, so I gave him a little shout out. And shout out to my parents. And then that's it. It was over. And then once it's over, they say, all right, thanks for coming. Oh, I took a picture with them. I'll share that picture. Very nice ladies. And then you just walk out of the studio and then straight out to your car. And that's it. And then I went to my hotel. And hung out and took a nap because I have been up since 6 a.m. And I went to bed at like 3 a.m. And then I go to the shows. I have 2 shows in Chicago on this Friday night. And the first show was, it was one of the worst sets of the tour. Sorry to anyone who went to that show. I was just not on my game. The crowd was just they were just a sleepy little, they were nice. I didn't bomb. But I was just like, man, they were very bored by the Volvo joke. And I was like, I'm fucking done doing this Volvo joke. And once you lose them up top with the Volvo joke, it's a pretty slow rest of the set. And the comic before me like crushed. So I was like, shit. I had the second best set on my own friggin' show. But then I met plenty of fans after. I'm sure many of you listening to the podcast, if you were at that show, sorry. All the other shows that weekend in Chicago were so much better than the one you came to. So sorry you came to that one. I'm sure you came to the first one because you're such a big fan and you wanted to see me right away. But just FYI, I did so much better at all the other shows. So that show really just irked me. I'm like, damn it, I'm in Chicago, the big city. These people are just, they're real city folk. They're smart. They're not country bumpkins. You can't trick them with your stupid little jokes. They know good comedy versus not. There's like real comedians in that town. So I'm just down on myself. Then the next show, the night show, I say, I'm not doing that damn Volvo joke. I'm going to go back to some old classics that I think they're just better. They're old and I was stopped doing them because I'm tired of doing them. But I'm just going to go back because I don't want to do that Volvo joke. And I did that and fucking did so good. The second show was phenomenal. I just cleaned up, sold a bunch of merch. And then after the show, get this. After the show, I'm hanging out slinging merch. And who walks up to me? But my fantasy football league's own, which is full of a bunch of women who live in San Diego, and then me. Who walks up to me but Marcy from my fantasy football league, who lives in San Diego and was randomly in town in Chicago visiting friends. Her friends wanted to go to a comedy show. Marcy says, okay, I'll go with you. Goes to a random show, not knowing that the comedian that night is her good buddy Ryan O'Flanagan. And it was one of those situations where Marcy walks up to me after and I'm slinging merch and I was like, hey lady, she looks kind of familiar. And she goes, so just got in town from San Diego. And I was like, whoa, shit, Marcy, I didn't even recognize you. Because the last thing in the world I expected to see at the Late Show on a Friday night in Chicago was Fantasy Football League Ballers for Dollars own Marcy, one of my arch rivals in this league, Marcy is. I could not believe it. And yeah, she's texting the group. I mean, I'm in the group. I didn't even realize these texts were happening. I like to not have my phone on me when I'm on stage because it's just a lot with a phone in my pocket and then my big old dick. It's just like a lot going on. And I put a koozie in one pocket and I bust it out. So I just leave my phone. I'm like, did you text everybody that this is happening? She's like, yeah, this is insane. What an absolute treat that was to see Ballers for Dollars own Marcy at the show. And not only that, but it was a really good set. Thank God she came to that show and not not the first show. And she says, hey, so she saw me, the last time I headlined was in San Diego right after Thanksgiving. And she goes, that was a whole bunch of new stuff. And I say, no, Marcy, the set I did in San Diego fucking did not do well at the first show. So I switched back to like older material. Because I definitely did the whole Volvo bit in San Diego too. So I said, yeah, those are not new jokes. Those are actually even older jokes from like before I even knew you, I think. And that was a little treat. And then I went to Taco Bell. Everyone, the comics left. I have no one to hang out with. I say, okay, I'll walk around and try to find food. I go to Taco Bell. Taco Bell, I put my order in. It's a crazy Taco Bell. It's pandemonium in there. It's so packed with drunk people. And I put my order in, and they just forget my order for so long. I'm waiting at this Taco Bell for half an hour. People are coming in and getting food and coming in and getting food and leaving. And I'm going up like, Ryan-O. They're like, yeah, it's coming. Sorry, yeah, it's coming. They definitely just forgot. Finally, the guy gives me my food, and he goes, sorry about that wait, man. Compensation's in the bag. Compensation's in the bag. I go, ooh. And he slides me a giant cup. And, I don't get, I just left. I was like, no, thank you. I'm not going to get a gigantic turquoise drink. I don't get, the drinks, really, at Taco Bell or any fast food. I don't want to just drink a big-ass, gigantic gallon soda. No, thanks. But what he put in the bag was not 1, not 2, but 11 free taco coupons. That's pretty cool. Not even with a purchase. You could just walk into any Taco Bell and I assume just hand them a coupon and say, give me a taco, bitch. Give me a taco, puta. So that's exciting. And I went back to my hotel and I looked at them and they expired in December 2025. So I threw those out. And blessed be the next day, Sestlev Milk, or whatever the hell, Seed Meal Felty. It is St. Patrick's Saturday in Chicago the next day. And I think this will probably be the last thing I do for this episode. We're at about an hour. And don't worry, the great rift of the trip is coming. I have plans. My friend Audrey Stewart is in town, also doing some shows. So that's very exciting. She has a bunch of cousins also in town. And she's like, dude, that Saturday, let's go do Chicago bar hop, bar crawl. Chicago is the St. Patrick's Day party of the country. That's Saturday. I imagine probably that actual day of, too. But this was the Saturday of. They dye the river green. Ba-ba-da, and it's just pandemonium downtown. I say, okay. She's like, we're buying a bar hop ticket. We're buying bar hop tickets, and we're bar hopping all day. And then we gotta go. She's like, then I have a show. And I was like, well, I have 2 shows. That sucks. We're gonna be drinking all day. And we're just gonna have to deal with that. So I go to buy, that morning I buy the bar crawl ticket they got. It's a bar crawl around Chicago, and it's not, I don't know if I've ever bought a ticket to a bar crawl. I always imagined it was just like, and I'm sure there are some like this, where everyone meets at a bar, and then everyone walks together to a different bar. That's, I guess, what I always imagined it was. That's not what it is. It's you just buy a ticket and it gets you into a bunch of different bars and you can go whenever you want. That makes much more sense. But I bought a ticket and it was it was like the day before. I was like, I don't know if I want to do a bar. I'm like, I don't want to drink too much before the show. So I don't know if I want to a full bar crawl. I might meet you at a bar, drink a little bit, and then I'll go back. Then I wake up and I go, who the hell am I kidding? I had a great show last night. I saw Marcy And now I'm ready to just drink all day and then go to show. If she's doing it, I'm doing it. All day I'm talking about. And Lord knows I have a lot more fun doing stand-up when I'm pretty drunk. So it's my spinach, which is a bad thing. It's a bad thing, but it is true. But I buy a bar crawl ticket. It is $72 at this point. When they bought theirs, it was like $25. But I waited too long because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. So I buy a $72 ticket. And there's no like address of where, it doesn't say where to pick it up. It did, I just didn't read far enough, I guess, or didn't find the... Eventbrite really keeps you guessing sometimes. There's just a lot of things to click on. Not really, I'm just a fucking idiot. But anyway, I go, they have an address on there. Every like Eventbrite has like an address listed on it. So I go, it doesn't say in the description where to pick up the wristband, but I assume it's the address put on the site. It just says it doesn't say pick up here, it just says an address. I don't know if that's the start of the bar crawler. I don't know. So I walk over, it's a 40-minute walk. I go, I'm going to walk, dude, getting an Uber on the Saturday of St. Patrick's Day. People have been drinking since 6 a.m. And it's just crazy driving. It's awful to get around. So I walk there. I walk to this address, and it's just like there's a bar there. It's pretty wild, but there's no like station. There's no wristband station. I see this guy, and it is cold. It is so cold. And these Chicago people, they don't feel it at all. Everyone is just reveling and rejoicing. There are people in like t-shirts, not a lot, but there's some wild people out there. I am in a hoodie with a jacket over it, and I am so cold. It is a biting air. And I see this guy, there's a few people in like a little roped off area, and they have these boxes. They're taking stuff out of boxes, like green beads. They just have these big boxes of green beads they're taking out. And they take out a big bunch of bracelets, like the paper wristbands that you stick on, tear the thing and stick it on. I go, this must be it. I go, hey man, I'm here for the wristbands. And he's like, yeah, so we're just unpacking right now. I'll be with you in a minute. And I'm just standing there in the biting cold. And finally he goes, all right, I'm ready. And I go over and I show him my Eventbrite barcode. And I go, all right, here's my bar. He doesn't have like a scanner or anything. I was just like, okay, I'm showing you this barcode. Are you going to like scan it? I show him the barcode and he goes, what is that, Eventbrite? And I was like, yeah, I bought it on Eventbrite. Is that weird? And he goes, all right. And then he just takes a bracelet and he puts a bracelet around me. And he was like, all right, there's a barcode on the bracelet. It shows you what bars you can get into. Have a good day. I was like, okay, you didn't even scan the barcode, though. I spent $72 on this. You're going to not scan it? I could have just had a friend send me a screenshot of this, and I would have just gotten in. A little bit annoyed. But okay. Audrey Stewart and all her cousins are at a bar. 10-minute walk. I go to this bar. We're going to start our crawl. They're already in there. What do you want to drink? Let me get you a drink. I go, I'll meet you over there. I get in there. The guy goes, yeah, we don't take those wristbands. All my friends are in there, and they are also doing the bar crawl. Yeah, we have different wristbands for this bar crawl. That can't get you into this bar. What? What is going on? Audrey Stewart comes out. She's got one of those nice wristbands, the cloth wristbands, like at a music festival. I go, what the hell? She sent me the link to get a wristband. I followed it. I bought it. And I'm trying to show the guy, look, man, I bought the wristband. Here's my Eventbrite. I bought it. I just went to this guy, and it turns out I got the wrong wristband. I got a wristband to a different bar crawl. He's like, yeah, I can't let you in. Sorry, dude. Yeah, you got to go. I go, okay. So this bar is an affiliate of the bar crawl I was trying to get into. So you should know, sir. Where can I get the correct wristband? Don't know. Okay. Very good. You should work at the airport. So now I'm just on a hunt. these friends are like, should we come with you? I'm like, just stay in the bar. I'll figure it out. Have a good time. I'm going to go kill myself. I'm going to jump in the Green River. I finally, through some Googling, I'm able to find out a bar where you can pick up a wristband, the correct wristband. I walk all the way there. There's a line around the block, and I pass the line, and I go to the door guy, and I was like, hey, man, can I pick up my wristband here? And he goes, oh, those people left a while ago. They left a while ago? And he was like, yeah, sorry, man. And I was like, you know what? Thanks for at least saying that. You're the first person all week I've met who's had any sort of sympathy or understanding that this is a shitty situation. So then I do some more digging, and I find like the phone number of a guy who runs the event and an email, who runs the bar crawl, and I email, and I go, hey, I'm too late to get the wristband. Can I meet someone somewhere? I spent $72 on a wristband, and I can't get into the bar that all my friends are at. And he, of course, never responds. But I did find this really cool pop-up. It called itself a pop-up. It was like a parking lot, and it was like sick. It was like the kind of a central spot in all the downtown like bars, and it was like an old parking lot that was now had a big tent. It was called like Lucky Leprechaun or something, and they had this DJ and DJ spinning and a couple bars, and it said we accept all wristbands. I go, okay, great. Let's go here and tell my friends to come meet me here, and then they can get in with their wristbands, and we can figure it out from there. I feel so bad to, like, take them away from the bars that they paid their wristbands for, but I'm like, let's at least meet and, like, talk about this and try to figure something out. I'm so cold. I just need my friends for warmth. So I go into the Lucky Leprechaun, and it is the greatest vibes I've ever seen in my life. Everyone's dancing. Everyone is dancing, and it is so cold. Maybe they're dancing because it's so cold. But I swear to God, man, I love dancing. I like going out with my friends and just raging and dancing. But you go to a lot of dance places, and, like, people aren't dancing. I might say people in LA don't like to dance as much as people in Chicago. That's a take I'm going to have. Everyone was dancing, all ages. Everyone was happy and dancing. I don't know what to make of that. Other than maybe Chicago's just more of a dance place than LA. I'm not saying it's better in any way. It's better in plenty of ways. I would never live there. It's far too cold, and LA rips. But man, the dancing, the joy. It was also St. Patty's Day, and everyone's wasted at noon. But man, I was really blown away by how good the vibes were. I don't imagine the vibes are this good if you have this event in LA. I don't know. We also don't really care about St. Patrick's Day in LA. That's a whole other thing. But anyway, it started snowing. I'm in this tent, and everyone's dancing, and they have a big padded spinning thing you can get in and, like, spin around on it. I don't know. I think you just go on and you just spin around on it. And it's unbelievably cold, dude. I was trying to text my friends and communicate, and I, like, couldn't do it for too long because my fingers would turn black. But I was just so impressed with how good the vibes were. And then finally my friends showed up, and we hung out there for a bit. And they were like, okay, we hung out briefly. They said, we gotta go to one of these bars that we paid money for. And so we left, and I was like, okay, I'll come with you, and I'm going to try to sweet talk. Maybe I can show my barcode and just, like, beg. I didn't get my bracelet in time. Please, can I get in? So we're trying to do that. And every bar that we went to that was on their bar crawl had a line just around the world. And they eventually just gave up and said, let's just go to a fucking meat market. We went to, like, a meat market that was like, it was like a bar that was like, it was like meats. I guess you could call it a barbecue place, but it was really like a meat market. They were really very much about the meats. I don't know how else to explain it. It was called like a meet something. I'm doing a really good job telling this story, but we're hanging out, drinking, and very much like soaking in the smell of these meats. And then it's like fucking 5:30, and I go, I gotta go to my show. Audrey, when are you gonna go to your show? And she's like, oh, I canceled my show. You canceled your show, you rat bastard. We were gonna do this together. We were both gonna struggle through having to do comedy after having drank all day at St. Patty's Day. That was like, I was very much looking forward to this bond. Not looking forward to it, but we were in this together. And you rat bastard. I gotta go do 2 shows. I can't just cancel on mine. Because I'm the man. I'm the headliner. I'm the coolest. I'm Gucci Greatness. So I have to leave. I go, oh my, and they're all having such a good time at this meat bar. And I was like, guys, I gotta go do 2 fucking shows. I'll hit you up when I'm done with the shows. They go, yeah, come back out. They're like, are you gonna come back out? Or are you gonna be too tired? Are you gonna come back out? And I go, of course I'm gonna come back out. As soon as the shows are over, I'm gonna come back out. And I go stumble my way back to my hotel, dude. I got a nice picture of the Green River. Cool. Go to my hotel. Dude, I'm drunk, man. I mean, I really wanted to go home and like shower and nap and like collect myself. I had no time. Quick shower, right to the club. Shout out to my boy Rob Gleason, came out to see me. New father. Good old Rob came out to the show. And so I do 2 shows on Saturday night, and they are both fucking not debacles. They both went, I think, very well. But I was drunk. It was, a lot of people at these shows were also pretty drunk. I was the drunkest, I would imagine. Not a lot of people are going out to a bar crawl and going, you want to go to a comedy show now and sit down and be quiet? So none of these people had been like drinking all day at the bar crawl like I had. But they were very sympathetic to it, and they loved it. And, a little bit debaucherous, but mostly under control. I think both shows went pretty well. They and then when they were over, as soon as the shows were over, and I was so glad they were over, I couldn't wait to get back out into the madness. And then I called Audrey Stewart, and I want to let everyone know out there in the whole wide world that I called Audrey Stewart, and I said, all right, let's get back out there. And she said, Ryan, I have terrible news. And I said, you penultimate bitch, you are not in bed right now, are you? Yeah, I'm in bed. We didn't make it. You rat fake. I just wanted to get back out there with my friends. But fuck it. I met some people at the show, and we went out to some bars. And I hung out with this guy, Phil, who was like the nicest guy. He was very inquisitive and asking me a lot of questions. And we hung out till Jeepers Creepers, like past 4. The bars are open really late over there. Hung out at the Redhead Piano Bar till like 4 a.m. God help us. But most importantly, the shows went well. I was pretty excited about that. I was very relieved. And then Chicago was done. And then the next day was March 15th. And this is the day that everything changed. And the trip went from tour number 1 into tour number 2. March 15th, National Comfort Day, if you went to Seekonk High School, class of 2006. Yeah, one time in high school, me and my friends put flyers around the school and said, National Comfort Day, March 15th. Wear pajamas and bring a pillow for your back and a seat cushion for your bum. And we did that, and only 4 of us did it. Shout out Craig Kennedy, Chris Martin, and Tim Sherrod. So I always know March 15th as National Comfort Day, but not a lot of comfort. Not a lot of comfort came on March 20 the 20-year anniversary, 2026. All hell broke loose. More on that in episode 50. Wow. A perfect episode 50 of Laser Show coming out I don't know, in a few days, I guess. Maybe like next week, I guess. Just a nice little cliffhanger. I don't know when it's going to come, but it's Shit Gets Wild. A Tale of Two Tours. And that was part 1 of my March comedy tour review. Thank you for listening. Please check out Instagram for pictures of all that cool stuff I was just talking about. And of course, let me know if you made it to the Elk. Give me a comment. Thank you for listening. Pump up the volume and dance.
Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance, dance. Brio, brio, yeah. Brio, brio, yeah.